Note from the producer-director, due to technical difficulties and rampant family procrastination, this is take one, final movie to follow. Captain Ron's Big Birthday Bash, or can you believe Ron is 55 again? Here's Captain Ron. And here's the crew. The rest of the crew is out to lunch. The many faces of Captain Ron. And more faces of the captain. Do you remember who was doozing, who visited every bathroom between New York and Florida, the color of your 1963 Lincoln? Which Lincoln had a matching outfit? All the additions to the three-room cottage in Fair Oaks. Swimming, fishing, boating, bathing in the river. How much fun it was to teach your kids to drive. Parties in the backyard of 26 Woodland Place. Rennie Braun, your mother, the original American beauty queen. And remember, who converted in Tampa? Who converted in New York City? Grandchildren's one-year-old parties, and which characters were there? All the Thespians events, your talented progeny, by blood and otherwise. And who played football, karate, piano, soccer, saxophone, with their hair, chess, magic tricks, lacrosse, baseball, non-stop. And, how many different hospitals have you traveled to see new grandchildren, and will soon to see your first great-grandchild? How many times have you moved your children from one place to another, colleges, apartments, houses? The joy of having one of your children or children-in-law help you with the home repair and the cleanup. Memories and good wishes from your family and friends. Dear Ronnie, your memories of me begin before my memories of you. They start when I lived in your house in Middle Village and said everybody is home. My memories begin in the country. I remember everyone coming together in my parents' home every Friday night. I loved listening to all the family gossip. You taught all us kids to swim in the river. I remember Muriel teaching us songs so we could put on a show for everyone. Of course, I know my whole family remembers the fun we had in your home at Passover Seders. You always included us, for which we are very grateful. You are always very gracious when it comes to inviting us and making us feel welcome and comfortable in Jones and your home, whether it's in Great Neck or Florida. We particularly enjoyed the home christening party Muriel and you had in Great Neck, when all the bathrooms didn't work, the men peed in the snow, and the women went to the temple. Ronnie, you are always fun to be with. You made my parents laugh when you spoke Hungarian. Your joy is contagious to everyone around you. We really enjoyed joining Joan and you on the cruise last year and hope we will be able to do it again. You are our cousin. We love you and wish you much happiness and health for many years to come. Happy birthday, love, Penny and Jeff. Hi, Dad. I will never forget when we first met. Emil dragged me into North Shore Hospital and introduced me to you as his fiancé, as you lay in the hospital bed after having a double hernia operation. Well, maybe he meant it as an incentive for you to get well quickly. Of course, there was a 1-2 punch when Ariel soon draped her arms around your shoulders, calling you Grandpa. I know this wasn't an easy introduction. You rose to the occasion, and I thank you for that. In return, I've given you 4 more grandchildren and the happiness that children bring to a family. Happy birthday, Dad. Love, Marcy. Okay, here is a story about how Captain Ron got his other personalized plate. As we were sitting in the kitchen, I think Mommy, Dad, and I were discussing what the license plate should be for Mom's car, a black Corvette at the time. Dad had already decided that his car would be Captain Ron, but the way he described the plate for Mom's car is something I will never forget. It will read THECREW, he said, and then proceeded to tell us how it would look. T-H-E, then very loudly he said space, in case you didn't realize there was one between two words. C-R-E-W. Sounds great, doesn't it? Only when you say it, Dad. Note from producer. So does this mean he was calling Mom a space crew? Then that would make Joan the new space crew. Congratulations, Dad, on this milestone for most, but just a stepping stone for you. Although in retrospect we have had our disagreements, and I may have been a bit more troublesome than Brucey Levine, I have you to thank for giving me the ability to stand strong in my beliefs and put passion in my objectives. You have instilled in me the values of hard work and the art of shrewd business. Your generosity is unmatched, whether to your family or your synagogue. While our styles are somewhat different, every day I find myself imparting some of your wisdom upon your grandchildren, sometimes even giving you credit for the knowledge. Only recently have I heard stories from reliable sources that Ronnie Braun was not an angel. But I won't believe such rumors because you always told us you were an angel. Even though I'm over 50, a father of 5, and soon to be a grandpa, I realize I'll always be your kid, and I want you to know I'm damn proud of said status. Thanks, Dad, for all you've taught me, all you've helped me, and all you've supported me. Love, Emil. Ronnie, what can we say? Eileen and I met you in 1992, I believe in the beginning of the year. We drove down from Tampa separately. I had to work. And I met Eileen, who was already with everyone at the Olive Garden on US 41. I think Ellen was also there, but not sure. I think it was your birthday and the day we met, come to think of it. Who knew, you and the Jacksonville ER? One visit was for the infamous blood clot in the leg that caused cancellation of your Passover cruise, and the other was for the just as infamous smashed thumb while trying to launch the boat at the Clark's Fish Camp ramp. A tale worth telling. Remember us trying to drive as fast as we could from the boat dock to our house 4 miles away with a 4,200-pound boat on a trailer. Not easy. Then we had to unhook the trailer and barrel down the road toward the hospital. On the way, there was a paramedic on the side of the road. At your direction, we stopped, and you, good to know, if you're bleeding and you say you're on Coumadin, they take you right in, fast. Not to let a busted and stitched up thumb ruin things, when we got home, Joan was there with Eileen and the kids. You'll recall that we hooked the boat back up to the truck and proceeded to go out for a spin with your hand bandaged up. Well, it's your 80th, and you don't want to slow down a bit. You still go at everything like you're 35 years old, and that's why you're still so young. However, that doesn't mean you shouldn't kick back those feet and relax a little bit, enjoy life, and do what you want to do. We expect to celebrate many more birthdays to come and wish you the very best on this momentous occasion. Happy birthday. Love, Darren, Eileen, Hunter, and Sydney. Dear Dad, when I first met you at Michelle's wedding, I was at first intimidated. I knew that I wanted to marry Ellen and also hoped that you and I would have our own relationship. I have admired you since I met you and am proud to be your son-in-law. I wish you a very happy birthday and many, many more. Love, Shane. At Seas with the Captain. I will always remember the day you taught me everything about boating. You brought me aboard the Gypsy and gave me the grand tour. You started with labeling the sides of the boat, port, starboard, bow, and stern. I remember you telling me the way to remember were to know that there are 4 letters in the word left, and port is on the left side of the boat. I was on my own when it came to remembering where the bow and stern were located. I was then brought below deck, and you showed me everything that existed down there. There was a kitchen where it seemed you rarely cooked a meal, the couches to lounge upon, the tiny low-ceiling bedroom cabin, and the even tinier bathroom. We went down there to fire up the engines and make sure all fuses and systems were a-go. You grabbed a sack with all sorts of navigational instruments and radios and brought it up to the main deck. I can still remember you going over each piece of equipment and explaining its significance. Shortly after, I remember you telling me how important the care and maintenance of a boat is, and you proceeded to talk about boat shoes that would not leave marks on the boat as you walked around. Within days, we were out on a sea exploration with my mother, sisters, and Grandma Jum. I think Darren and Eileen were there as well. We cruised around the water. You even let me drive Gypsy for a little while. When we approached the drawbridge, you gave the commands to the tower who controlled the bridge. I think one time on a separate occasion you taught me the codes and what to say, and I called the tower to request the raising of the drawbridge. When the exploration was reaching its end, you let me get on the speaker and announce to our passengers, "This is your Schwabi speaking. We will be reaching dock shortly." Everybody, including myself, laughed, and I can honestly say that some of my best memories with you, Poppy, are the ones when we were out at sea. Peanut M&Ms are my default comfort food. Even if I haven't gone grocery shopping for 3 weeks, you can rest assured there's at least one mostly filled bag of peanut M&Ms in my kitchen. And whenever I'm sad, my friends shower me with gigantic bags of peanut M&Ms because they know it's the only thing to cheer me up. In fact, I've touted the healing powers of peanut M&Ms so convincingly that many of my friends have adopted the candy as their own homeopathic remedy. And it wasn't until now that I realized why this seemingly innocuous and fattening chocolate-covered peanut was so near and dear to me. The M&M jar on the coffee table at Poppy's house. Some of my most treasured memories take place at 451 East Shore Road. I clearly recall the summer nights I spent catching fireflies in the backyard with Max and David, a memory that could probably send a diabetic into shock due to its saccharine sweetness, but still brings a smile to my face when I remember setting the bugs free before we had to go home, after parental promises that they'd still be there outside the next time we were there after dark. And I remember the chop busting, more typical of the Braun clan, that poor Harley had to endure after she was caught kissing boys in the Big Bird Playhouse at the tender yet all too knowing age of 3. I remember watching cartoons in the den as my brothers and sisters and I would take turns misusing the massage tools on each other's backs, despite the innumerable times Grandma Joan tried to explain the correct way to use them. I remember being in high school and stopping by the house with Mom and Dad to say a quick hello to Poppy and Grandma. They were in the middle of watching some Julia Roberts movie, the only important detail of which was the inclusion of the Del Shannon song Run Around Sue. As soon as this important part of the movie soundtrack history started playing, all 5 of us, saying nothing, broke into song at the same time. Daddy showing off by trying to harmonize during the hey-hays, and Poppy one-upping him by being slightly louder and more out of tune. And at each of the key moments in my memory repertoire, the M&M-shaped candy jar on the glass and elephant coffee table was sure to be full of peanut M&Ms. As recently as Election Day 2008, I found myself back at Poppy and Grandma's house, and back in the very place where I'd experienced so many other rites of passage. I got ready to be a big girl and cast my first vote, unsuccessful as it may have been, and almost 21 years after my bouts with braces and growth spurts and sibling rivalries, there were peanut M&Ms waiting for me on the coffee table. Happy birthday, Poppy. Love, Remy. There was a time not long ago while visiting Fort Lauderdale. Mom called and said, "Ron and I are coming across, and it would be nice if the 2 of you could go hit some balls at the local driving range." So I met our folks at the grandmother's and picked up Ron and drove to Jacaranda Golf and Country Club, one of the nicest ranges in South Florida. When we arrived, I went to the pro shop and picked up 3 bags of balls. Each bag contained 65 balls. We walked over to the lush range after I retrieved my clubs from the car and set up in a suitable spot. I set a ball down in front of your dad, and he informed me he wouldn't be hitting today. I asked why, and he said, "I'll watch you hit them. Let's see how you swing." I said, "Seriously, though, we have almost 200 balls here. Come on, hit a few. Watching me won't be that fun. I'm not good enough to qualify for golf in the Special Olympics." Still, he declined to hit a single ball that afternoon. We couldn't leave until the last ball had been launched. From time to time, he would give me advice ranging from how to hold the club to swing angles. After the 80th ball, my right arm felt like it was going to fall off, and my glove had blisters. But still, he insisted we stay until all the balls were gone. Finally, about an hour later, I launched the last ball. We packed it up and headed home. Later that year, when Father's Day was looming in the near-distant future, I was trying to come up with a unique, memorable gift when suddenly I had the most remarkable epiphany. I went to a local trophy shop and had a large custom golf trophy made that read, "To Ron Braun, the world's greatest golf coach, from your #1 student. Love, Alan." As far as I know, that trophy still sits on his mantle. Here is a wonderful memory for your book. A few years ago, Harold and I took a lovely cruise, and one of the places we docked was Istanbul, Turkey. We noticed that the QE2 was docking a short distance away, and we walked about 2 blocks away to watch the goings-on. When we arrived, there were passengers there. The passengers were leaving the ship. We watched for a while, and sure enough, your dad and Joan came off the ship. We had a wonderful reunion, and the ship's photographer took a photo of the 4 of us. That picture is in our home in Great Neck, so I'm unable to get it for you. It was fun. Best wishes, Lorraine Dominich. Dear Poppy, Grandma tells me this story, and it's probably my favorite one. It's when we were in Disney World, and I was probably 5 or 6 years old at the time. You and I ordered pizza for lunch, and we had stomach aches from it. I think it was later that night I came to you two and told you I had good news and bad news. The good news was that I felt better. The bad news was that I threw up again. Want to know something funny? Even after that event, I still love pizza. Happy birthday, Poppy. Love, Paige. Dear Poppy, though I was so young, I could never forget those Sunday mornings waking up early to leave for Scobie Diner, where we would all meet up for breakfast as one big family. It became a tradition, and sitting down with you and Grandma Joan talking about anything and everything are the greatest memories of my childhood. Happy birthday. Sorry I couldn't be there to celebrate with you, but in my heart you are there. I love you always, Harley. Happy birthday, Poppy. I love you and couldn't ask for a better grandpa. You mean so much to me, and I don't know what I would do without you. This past winter break was so great. I really didn't think I could handle being on a boat for so long, but being with the family made it so special, and I loved the time that we spent together. You are so amazing and such a big part of my life. I'm so appreciative of all your support and all that you do for me, and I hope you know how much I care about you. I hope you live to be 180 years old, and you better come visit me in Colorado. I love you, Skylar Rose. One of my first memories, Grandpa Ron and Grandma Muriel, was at Shabbat dinner at their house in Great Neck. Right away, they opened up their home and hearts to me, a precocious little 6-year-old. Grandpa Ron immediately had me call him Grandpa and took to calling me Ari. I remember always complaining that there was fat on my lamb chop at dinner, which Mom and Emil would never find, and warned me kindly to finish the food on my plate. But Grandpa Ron always said, "It's okay, don't eat it if there's fat." That, of course, would shut everyone up. He would smile at me, and what can I say? I always had plenty of room for dessert at Braun Shabbat dinners. Love, Ariel Brooke. In his quiet way, Ron helped us and others that needed some assistance at certain times of their lives. When I was out of work many years ago, Ron hired me to work in his office to oversee his workers when they came and went. This act of goodness helped me to provide for my family until I gained a new position in my field of employment as a salesman. Happy birthday, Ron. Love, Sheila and Ken. Dear Poppy, happy birthday. Thank you for all the love and care you give to me. Remembering my bat mitzvah, I was so happy you were there. I love all the presents you give me every year, and I'll treasure them like you treasure me. SLC is my most favorite place I ever went to, and I'm happy you could share it with me. Sorry I can't be there in Florida with you today, but I am there in your heart. Happy birthday, Poppy. I love you. Love, Mariel. Dear Poppy, I am so thankful for everything you've done for me and all that you've taught me in my lifetime. From the many holidays we've spent together to all of my soccer, football, and baseball games that you've attended, you've managed to never miss a beat. Through the academic awards and the hitting slumps, you have always been the first person to support me and tell me how proud you were of me. I'm so grateful for all the valuable wisdom you have shared with me, whether it be about girls, school, religion, or business, and I would never have gotten to where I am today without your help. Growing up down the street from you and being able to smile and laugh with you by the pool on an ordinary spring weekend was an amazing privilege. We all had a great time on the cruise, and I only wish that we could all be together to celebrate this joyous occasion with you today. I love you and miss you, Poppy. As you said, it's best in your birthday dinner on the cruise. May we all be back for your 100th. Happy 80th birthday. Have a great one. Love, David. I was fortunate enough to win an Emmy Award back in 1999-2000 for work I did on The Rosie O'Donnell Show. My father was proud of me, I do know that, but to know him is to love him and his expressions. Now I understand what you do, is what he said. Not, I see all your hard work has paid off, or this is quite an accomplishment. I know my dad, and that was his way of telling me he was proud of me. Happy birthday, Dad. Love, Ellen.